Deep in the forest, a dragon and her egg lived in a cave. One day, the dragon went out to hunt for food for her soon-to-hatch offspring. She forgot that these were rank lobbies. The moment she flew into the open, a group of humans hunting in the area shot her down. This left her cave and egg completely undefended. Before long, a pregnant magic cat stumbled upon the abandoned cave and decided to claim the territory. She gave birth to her kittens right there in the cave. As she cared for her young, the abandoned egg hatched at the same time. The first thing the baby dragon saw was the cat, so he assumed she must be his mother. The cat knew that this strange baby couldn't possibly be one of her own. Still, she felt pity for him. She thought it would be interesting to try raising a child of a different species. So, she took the baby dragon in and told her kittens that they had a new little brother. Later, the mother cat took her kids out hunting to teach them how it worked. While prowling through the grass, they found some unsuspecting mice eating berries. The mother cat got into position and pounced, catching several at once. Afterward, she decided to teach her kittens how to use their lightning magic with their tails. They quickly grasped the lesson. When the dragon tried to imitate them, nothing happened. He looked upset about not being able to use magic. So, the mother cat and the others worked together to find out what kind of magic the dragon could use. After some experimentation, they discovered that he could use his wings to fly and breathe fire, though he still needed to practice to get it right. Just then, the cat sensed something coming, so she told her kids to be quiet and hide in the bushes. A moment later, a group of humans walked by, but thankfully, they didn't see them. The kids were confused about why their mom was scared of those people. They had never seen humans before. Their mother explained that humans could be dangerous. Some were kind, but many were cruel, and there was no way to predict how they would react if they spotted them, as cat-like creatures were considered valuable by humans. The kids realized that humans were indeed dangerous, and started trying to memorize their scent to avoid them in the future. Seeing her kids take it seriously, the mother cat felt confident they would manage when it was time for them to explore the world on their own. Everything was going well for the cat family until a few days later, while they were hunting, a magic circle appeared beneath the mother's feet. The kids panicked and asked what was happening because she was starting to disappear. The mother understood that it was a summoning circle created by one of the humans. When someone tried to summon a familiar, the spell would randomly pull an animal from the wild. This time, the mother cat was the chosen one. Before she got teleported away, she gave her children one last lesson. She had taught them everything about hunting, so if they ever got into trouble, they needed to look out for each other and work together to survive. After that, the mother vanished, leaving the kids to fend for themselves. As time passed, the older kittens left the nest, leaving the dragon as the only one living in the cave. He became familiar with survival but felt lonely without anyone to spend time with. Days turned into weeks until one day, his older sister returned to the cave, pregnant and looking for a safe place to raise her young. The dragon happily became the fun uncle to his nephews and nieces, teaching them the hunting rules and to stay away from humans. Before he knew it, those kittens grew up and left to start families of their own. While he was proud to see them thrive, he felt sad about being alone again. Dragons live much longer than cats, and he realized he would likely outlive all his siblings, which depressed him. One day, a cat he had never seen approached him. She smelled like one of his brothers. The cat introduced herself, saying she was pregnant, and hoped to give birth in his cave. Her father had told her about his brother, a cat with wings, and said she could come here for safety. Hearing that his brother thought so highly of him brought tears of joy to the dragon's eyes. Over the years, the dragon continued to grow in size and power. He gained access to magic and could communicate with the spirits in the forest. One day, while talking to a spirit, the dragon mentioned being a cat with wings. The spirit was confused and explained that he wasn't a cat at all. This revelation shocked the dragon since his mother never had the chance to tell him before she was summoned away. He returned to his cave to inform his nieces and nephews that he wasn't actually a cat, but they didn't care. They had already guessed as much since he was much larger than them by this point. They asked him to keep teaching them magic, and the dragon happily agreed. Things went well for a while. Then one day, while flying home, he spotted a group of humans with cat corpses piled next to them. The moment he recognized some of those cats as his family, rage consumed him. He charged at the humans, incinerating them instantly with his flames. He didn't understand why humans would kill so many cats at once if they were just hunting for food. The spirits informed him that the humans never intended to eat these cats. They were killing them simply to skin their fur and sell it later. The dragon felt rage after learning this. If the humans had been hunting for food, he could have accepted it as part of life, since all living beings need to eat. However, killing cats for fashion was unacceptable. He immediately flew to the town the hunters came from and stood on top of their gate, announcing he was the guardian of all the magic cats in the forest. He declared that the hunters who went out to hunt cats that morning had all been burned to a crisp. He warned that if any of them ever returned to kill cats in the forest again, he would reduce the entire city to ash. The humans were terrified. The local knights raised their lightning staves to attack the dragon, trying to take him down, but none of their efforts left a mark on him. In fact, their attacks only angered him more. In retaliation, the dragon scorched a section of the city, along with all the soldiers who had raised their weapons against him. He had initially planned to spare the city after warning them, but their attack made him consider destroying them entirely. As he looked down at the streets, he spotted a little girl crying amidst the flames. He didn't care about her because he thought all humans were scum. However, he noticed the girl's pet cat trying to protect her. This reminded him of his mother's words. There may be cruel humans, but some are kind. The dragon realized it wouldn't be fair to destroy all the kind humans because of the actions of the cruel ones. He flew into the air and gave the humans a final warning. He told them he did not want to see any humans killing cats in the forest unless it was for food or self-defense. Anything else would bring his wrath. After delivering this warning, he returned to the forest. Many years passed without incident. The humans adjusted to the new rules to avoid trouble with the dragon. One night, after the prince of the human kingdom had been tucked into bed, he sneaked out of his room. He wanted to practice his magic while no one was around. The prince had been born with weak magic. If he wanted to inherit the throne and meet his father's expectations, he needed to work hard to prove himself. However, when he tried to cast a fire spell to burn a leaf, nothing happened. He was struggling with his magic. He kept trying, and eventually, a cat wandered next to him. Seeing it cheered the prince up. He decided to continue trying, and this time, he actually managed to set the leaf on fire. He felt excited about his progress and thanked the cat for its support. Then he realized this was one of the cats from the forest. During his lessons, he had been warned that if a magic cat wandered into the city, no one was allowed to harm or kill it. If they did, the imperial dragon would return to burn the entire city down. Remembering this made the prince cautious. He asked the cat if it came from the forest. The cat confirmed it. The prince offered to lead it back, but the cat said it knew how to get back on its own. It turned to leave, so the prince assumed it would be fine. The next day, the cat returned to the palace to meet the prince and help him practice. Since the cat was so friendly, they quickly became friends and met each night to train and talk. It didn't take long for the king to find out about this. At first, he was extremely concerned. He worried the dragon might misunderstand and think they were forcing the cat to stay, which could provoke it to burn the city down. However, since the dragon had given them 2 warnings, the king believed everything would work out as long as they explained the situation properly. Not long after, the dragon flew into the city, causing panic among the people, who assumed it was there to burn them. In reality, the dragon was looking for one of his kittens that hadn't returned to the forest in days. A short while later, the cat appeared. The dragon demanded to know why it hadn't come home for so long. The cat explained it had made friends with a kid who lived in the city and wanted to teach him magic because he struggled with it. The dragon reminded the cat of his warning about the dangers of humans, and to stay away from them. The cat replied that his friend wasn't dangerous. When the prince arrived, the dragon saw for himself that the boy didn't pose any threat. He agreed to let the cat stay to teach the prince. Since the boy was the prince of the kingdom, the dragon decided it was right to seek permission from the king for one of his cats to stay permanently. He used transformation magic to turn into a smaller cat to avoid causing a panic and began walking towards the castle. Once he entered the main hall, the king greeted him as an honored guest. He had no objections to one of the dragon's cats staying in the kingdom. He asked if the dragon was sure about this since he had taught the cats magic, which could be considered a secret art. The dragon replied it was fine because he had learned everything from talking to the spirits, so it wasn't a secret. Still, the dragon was the only one who could speak to the spirits, meaning others couldn't acquire that knowledge. Since the dragon had no objections, they decided the cat could stay and teach the prince for as long as needed. From then on, whenever a royal was born, a cat from the forest would visit the kingdom. If they befriended a prince or princess, the cat would teach them magic and stay by their side, ensuring a balanced relationship between the humans, the cats, and the dragon.